Yo, what is happening? I am Judah. We got our yo Ben Yahoo, and we want to welcome y'all back for real back to the Truth Be Told Flex podcast. Man,
it's been a break.
Been over a month, ain't it?
And what a month it's been.
Man, look here, bro.
MONF month.
Month, exactly. That's exactly what it felt like too, man. I ain't gonna lie, and I enjoyed every bit of it. Was that you I was telling? I don't think I watched it. The most movies I don't watched in probably about 2 years, man.
You don't watch the worth of movie of 2 years in a month.
Same.
You put the chillaxing in chillaxing.
Look, man, I was like, I forgot how good it felt to be able to sit on the couch and just enjoy a good movie.
Look, y'all, we in here trying to figure out how to work the controls again and everything. Like, y'all should have seen this earlier. I was moving them out. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, there it is right there. Boy, hey, but like you said, Doc, it was a break that was definitely needed.
Yeah, much needed.
A lot of hard work that we, as journalists and fathers and husbands, it's this, this is not just a podcast. This is ministry. It's ministry.
Exactly.
And it wears on you, man.
It does, man. Yeah, I tell you, and I know you can attest to it. Right before every break, I'll be right at the end. I'll be burnt out. You know what I'm saying?
I need a break. Oh, it's our break. You be like, look at that. See,
right?
I've heard my prayers. It's every time. And then again, every time we break, I mean, the minute the show is over, plane crash, boom, news just started ripping off. I was like, yo, it never
rapid too.
Fails, man. Never fails, man. But
it was rapid too. Yeah. I mean, as soon as we went on break, I don't even think the my laptop was off good, man. Stuff started happening, bro.
It started coming in, but nevertheless, we back, baby.
Well, I would like to welcome everybody, though. I see D-Elect 12. Want to say shalom to you. McCall, shalom.
Yeah.
Mahalik, shalom. Yameh, shalom. How you doing? Shakaboom 80. Want to welcome everybody. Sonic AI Cover just stepped into the room.
Jamil.
Our brother, Jamil. Man, that brother, I don't know. Can I talk? And that brother just dropped another one, man. California Burning.
Woo.
Man.
Fuego. Coincidentally, fuego.
Man, look, that California Burning, I was like, this here don't even make no sense, man.
He's one of the greatest storytellers in all Yasharal and all the world.
California Burning is going off. Q Battle just stepped in the house. Shalom, Q Battle. Been praying for you, sister. Been praying for you. But not Shalahaya, she is not with us tonight. All praises to the Most High. He has blessed us. She has received a promotion, but with that promotion came a heavy workload as well.
All praises, all praises.
The podcast is not a stepchild, but it is not, you know what I'm saying, feasible at this particular time. The show is probably going to be a little bit dry. We don't have any announcements tonight. It's not going to be a whole lot of visuals tonight.
No.
Ayob and myself, we are going to be fondling around with buttons. So if something, bear with us. We are about to experience why Banat Salahaya is so important to the show, but we're going to figure this thing out. Going forward.
Congrats to sis on the promotion, though. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to get that in there. Congrats to sis on the promotion, and all praise to the Most High for the increase.
Con, exactly. Yeah, that sister has worked hard for it too, man. She deserve it. The Most High, man, if I tell you how the Most High has been blessing the house this year within the last 6-8 months, I'm talking about visible blessings, right? Because he's been blessing us longer than that, but I'm talking visible blessings, man. It's just like, I could never go back. You know what I'm saying? There's no way I can go back to where I come from because the scriptures say, taste and see how good the Most High is. I'm tasting it and I'm seeing it on a daily. And and I know that it is because of the obedience that I am trying.
Listen,
that I am trying. You dig what I'm saying?
You know
what I'm saying? I'm working.
You're not perfect, but you're being perfected.
There you go. And he is rewarding us forward. And so,
right.
The Most High is good, man. I cannot complain at all. She may be, I don't know. She may pop in later on in the show.
Okay.
If she do get back. So just to let you know that, join the conversation that we're going to have. What I was about to say, going forward, there may be less and less music breaks on the show. We are going to concentrate on giving the people what it is that they need. Hopefully that our content will be able to keep the people, you know what I'm saying, steady. Not saying that we won't be playing music, but it's not going to be, just a part of the algorithm or the program that we have. There will be still announcements that we will be making, but those will be with Benat Shalahaya, be able to settle down a little bit more and do what it is that she do. Me and Ayo, we bring news.
That's it. That's it, y'all. That's it.
We talk and bring news.
Right. Exactly. Print these papers, make these jokes.
Right.
Keep it clean. And that's about it.
That's what we do. Turn up the lights. The Light Hebrew Magazine is in the house as well. We want to say shalom to you as well, sis. Yeah.
News in the building.
But so the way it's looking right now, we got the family in the house.
They in the building.
I tried to stream to your Facebook. I don't know if
it's on. It's
okay. Then cool. I didn't go to Nasaya because from what I heard, I believe Nasaya has 86th the channel. So I'm gonna have to get with Elder and find out if that's true or not. But maybe the Light Hebrew Magazine know more if it's still active or not. But if it is, we're not on there tonight, and we will be back next week. But I believe that Nasaya TV is no longer with us.
Oh wow, that's news to me. That's
Oh,
okay. And you know what? Now that you say that, I just realized that the icon is not up there with the Facebook and the YouTube. Wow. Man. Okay.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I know he was talking about it. I don't know if he actually did it or not, but I know he was talking about it. There is another album that is going to be dropping as well, from what I seen when I was on Facebook not long ago with the Shanayim. So y'all keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yeah, it's the fam right there.
Yeah,
I think I might have made it on that too. I don't know. I had to check with Malky, and I think Ayo might have made it on the album. I might see if I made it on the track list. Family.
So let's get to it. You got anything before we get to it, Ayo? You got because you've been gone too, brother. You got something you want to chop it up about, man?
No, man. I'm ready to get back into this news. There's been a lot going on. Sports world, regular world, secular world, the world of Yasharal. It's been Ayo be sneaking on these. Look at you. I be sneaking out. I be teaching.
They be sneaking, coming through the window.
Coming through the back door, be teaching around. Right. Don't announce it. Just let me creep on in there. Don't say nothing.
Yeah,
man. But I'm just happy to be back, bro. It's been a, trials and tribulations coming to make us stronger, man. We had a break. Truth be told, flexed out. Y'all see them. Hey, we flex. We're going to flex on y'all. But let's get into this news, baby. I ain't got nothing to say.
All right, let's get to it. You did remind me as well that we talked a little bit about it before we started about the sports news. man, that college playoffs was great.
Bruh.
It really was. It turned out to be, as advertised. And I think that's going to, I don't know. I was telling you about Ohio State. That's a $20 million roster, man. That is crazy.
Their NIL is crazy. Like,
it's crazy.
And I did a little bit of digging. So out of 11 players on the defense, me and you was chopping it up about this before. With the way the transfer portal is now, you got 3 transfer portal windows. You got one in December, you got one in January, which is going on now. Then you got one in April. Well, I got some news today. They're about to change that. It was a unanimous FBS coach vote to make it one window after December. So that means starting next year, you probably won't, like the bowl games, all that sitting out and NRL, you won't see that. They got to wait after that, which I think is a little bit better. But getting back to Ohio State, I was saying that to preface my statement about the transfer portal. Now, Ohio State's defense, as the Aqua saying, $20 million NIL on that defense. Out of 11 players, y'all, they got 2 transfer portal players, just 2. The other 9 players have been there 4, 5, and I think they got 1 6-year senior, because the 4 and 5 year right now, the 5th and 6th years from that COVID year that everybody had to sit out, that they was able to reclass and be eligible to play for an extra year. So that's a stout defense that has a lot of game experience. So their NIL worth, like the Aqua was saying, just went up 20 mil. So that means insane. That's crazy. So an average of 11 players, they getting like each player's getting 1.5 mil. It's crazy. In college,
that's insane.
19, 20, 21 years old to be a millionaire in my senior year playing the game I love in a national championship. That's crazy.
Well, and it's crazy because we talking college students.
Right.
This NIL money is so retarded right now, man, that a lot of these kids coming out of high school rich. And we talking boys and girls, man, because there's this female phenom basketball player. Y'all can look her up. Her name is Special K. She's out of Canada. I know Special K already worth millions, and I don't even think she's a senior yet.
That's crazy.
I know Special K worth some millions right now. She ain't even a senior yet.
The African guy that was, I forget his name, but you can look him up as well. He had the University of North Carolina. He's a 7'1" out of Nigeria. He's been in the States for about 6 or 7 years. He was getting recruited when he was in high school out of Nigeria. He's been here for a while. It was UNC Tar Heels, Duke, I want to say Boston College, Alabama, Kansas, Kentucky, and BYU. He chose BYU, guys. He is a freshman that just enrolled. His NIL deal was $8 million.
Same, man.
BYU, Brigham Young, which is a Jesuit Catholic university, got him an NIL deal for $8 million at 18 years old. Yeah.
They're going to have to do something though eventually, because I don't care what you say, and I know you understand what I'm saying. Before I go, I don't want to miss Jamil. I'm like, I wished I was a little bit younger, Jamil. I come to the SIP and train with you, brother.
I'm telling you. We going back to get our eligibility. Yeah.
I come to the SIP and train with you, brother.
Back hurting, calves, legs, and all. I don't care.
Being gay, come up, have a whole backpack full of being gay and bandage wraps and
Sorbine Jr. What was that? Sorbine Jr.
Icy
hot, all that. we getting that NIL. Gonna nickname it Neil. NIL. Neil. Getting that Neil money. Sound like an old black uncle. Neil, what Neil at?
Neil. Man,
that's funny.
But at some point, though, what I was saying is that something is going to have to change, because with this much money flowing through college sports, you are no longer going to be able to call these kids amateurs. These are professionals. Yeah. And the thing, when you're dealing with this much money, now you're going to start dealing with bookers and brokers and gambling, which means that the games are not going to be. This is what made college sports always the greatest. Like, I'm an NFL dude, hands down, always have been, right? And, you know, for the most part, probably will be. But I would be lying to you if I told you I didn't think those games was rigged. Those games are rigged. You know what I'm saying? But I watch them because no matter how you cut it, those cats that play on those NFL teams, they are the best at what it is that they do. Every Sunday when you watch them, they give you a reason as to this is why I watch this game. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
Same thing it is with college, but at some point, these college games are not going to be as pure as what we are used to, because of the flow of the money that is beginning to go through here now, quote unquote, legally. You dig what I'm saying? So,
and you may already be seeing that. We was talking earlier, real quick. Monday, 7:30 p.m. The college football playoff, 12 teams, is over with. The national championship will be Mondays, the 20th at 7:30. You have Ohio State, whom we were just been talking about. I mentioned the $20 million defense, or $20 million roster on the defense, against Notre Dame, who we've been talking about all year with the parity and the college football playoff. They are in the national championship. Now, just as Ak was saying, and I mentioned this earlier, Notre Dame, they don't play for a conference championship. They are an independent school. Ak has been saying this all year. And guess what? They're in the national championship as an independent. No conference. Ain't that crazy? Now, remember a few years ago, last year, Florida State was 13-0. I'm a Florida State fan. Quarterback Jordan Travis got hurt one of the last games. We went 13-0, but we were out of the 4-team college football playoff, got blew out by Georgia in the bowl game. Now, that happened because, remember, a few years ago, TCU beat Michigan, made it to the national championship as an underdog, and Georgia just, what was the final score? 65-13, something, 65-3.
It was a blowout.
And the TV ratings came out. It was one of the lowest ratings because by the halftime, the game was over. Now, with that being said, you were just talking about semi-pro or being non-amateur, the college game being pure, but now with the NIL, you got gambling and all this. Now, Notre Dame, here's your opportunity to show the world you can go and win it, or at least play a close game. Because if you go ahead and get blown out, just like TCU, we ain't heard from them since, and everybody said that was going to happen, you will never be in the national championship again. They will make sure the Vegas gambling, whatever, they'll make sure that you never get back. So
they'll have to join the conference. They would force them to join the conference.
That would force them to join the top 4 or 5 at big conference.
Our conference, yep.
ACC, SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12, which will be back next year, or the it seems like I'm missing one.
The Big 12.
Big 12. Yeah, Big 12 and the Big 12.
Yeah,
Pac-12, Big 12, SEC, ACC, and Big 10. Those are your top 5. They'll have to join. They'll have to.
They would have to. Because the way that the system was, it worked for them because they can lollygag around for the first half of the season. Always keep themselves ranked to be able to get them a high bowl game.
What I'm saying? That's what happened this year. They kind of hung around, waited for some teams to lose. And then by 5th or 6th game, really started gelling and putting up points. And now you have it. They're in the national championship.
So yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
We are definitely going to see how this thing is going to shake out. But yeah, Even with that being said, man, that college playoff, as I was telling the Ock before the show started, it was as advertised. They did not overhype that.
Very
man.
exciting.
That was it did not pan out the way I wanted it to for SMU, but it panned out the way I expected it.
Right.
I mean, you know, we got to think SMU been dead for you think Colorado was dead? No, SMU was dead.
For a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. So just to see SMU being talked about nationally again, that was a win within itself.
Absolutely.
That was a win within itself.
Man.
So that's the sports. We got one more game that's going to be in 5 days, which is going to be the national championship. National championship, Ohio State, Notre Dame. It's going to be in Atlanta. So I will be on my couch watching it.
I want to. Again, with both defenses, I'll go ahead and make a solid prediction. I'm going to say 22-15 Ohio State. I think it'll be kind of low scoring. It'll be 14-13 up until like that last quarter. I think both teams will score. I think it'll be a defense, both back and forth to like that last quarter.
What you say? 20? What you say?
24, like 24-19, 22-13, something like that. It won't be 45.
I take that 22. I take that 22, but I'm gonna give 10. I'm giving Notre Dame 10.
Okay.
I wonder what the I take that 22 though. I wonder what the over is. Yeah.
I wonder what it is too. But it's gonna be interesting.
If I think about it, I'll try to find out. But it's gonna change though. Whatever it is right now, it's gonna change closer to the to the
game. Yeah.
Closer to kickoff.
It's gonna be interesting. We'll see.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so that's that, man. So that being said, that's the sports world, man.
Sports, man. NFL and playoffs.
You have had to been under a rock if you have not been seeing what's happening in California, people.
Oh man,
this is crazy. Now we used to wildfires in California. Wildfires in California have been all of my life, for real.
Yeah.
But they're generally in the area outside of the city, though, right?
Right.
LA is on fire now.
Man, like Hollywood, like like. Man.
Yeah, like Jamil said, California is burning. Like
burning, man.
Yeah, it's burning. People have been making mention of the fires in California are real similar to the Maui fires. What do you think?
I could see that. It is similar. I ran across a video today that I meant to send to you on TikTok. And TikTok potentially may be banned Sunday. And I think I'm mentioning this, and this is the reason why, because I saw somebody had a experiment on how you mentioned Maui, and they had an experiment on how those the beams work. And they had like a blue, like some kind of blue paper or blue cover, and they had some paper and like some matches, and they shot the beam. They had a beam shooter, and they shot the beam, and it kept, every time it hit the blue, it would go out, but it was burning up the other stuff around the blue cover. I'm gonna see that video, but it does have a connotation or similarities, a lot of similarities of the Maui fire that happened last year. My heart goes out to it's a lot of folks that have passed away, but man, the Most High is not playing around. Boy, he is. It ain't just judgment. This is wrath.
Yeah. And I don't care what nobody's saying, and I'm agreeing with you for real. This is wrath and this is judgment. And we better take heed to it. But them people doing that though, man, you is not finna tell me that those fires are natural fires, man. Them people is burning California up intentionally, man.
Yeah. And again, it's just the way, like you was mentioning, normally the mountainous areas, like you got Calabasas and the upper regions of California and more west outside of the city. But this is in the city.
This is in the
city limits. Like they've had to postpone a lot of the Lakers and Clippers and the LA Rams game.
They played. They had to move them to Arizona.
They played the Vikings in the playoff game and had to have that game in Arizona because you can't get to the stadium. So,
Brew News said that it's being reported that the Blazers are starting.
So that's what I was saying. That video.
That's what you was talking about, right?
They had a person shooting the lasers, and it had the blue background. And every time they shot the laser, it wouldn't hit. Just like in Maui, the tops of the houses that were painted blue, they were not touched.
Fine.
They were fine.
And Eddie Griffith said we need to check the Crip neighborhood.
You see. It would be him to say that too. It would be him to say that.
Wow. We need to go check out the Crip neighborhoods and see. He said, "You Bloods, hey, you might want to put your red down and put some blue on."
Oh my gosh, boy, Eddie Griffin crazy. It would be him to say that.
Something else he said too that was crazy. He said them pedophiles in California. He said they tried to burn up the evidence. He said,
"Oh my gosh, man."
You say my heart goes out to everybody that done lost unless you a pedophile. If you a pedophile,
that's what I. Oh my God! Our first week back, and we gonna be in the trap house next week.
I know, right? But yeah, it is crazy, man. LA is on fire, man, and for the fires to be going through the city like that is crazy. And the last that I heard that a majority of the fires are not even contained at this particular time. Now, but this is the story though, with what we've been seeing going on, right? And this is one of the reasons I feel like, a lot of those fires are being started intentionally. You got to think it only take one intentional fire though to spark. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So you take it as it is. And again, let me put this out there that this is just my opinion. No one has to agree with me.
Right.
But at the same token, whether they are, I do want to put this out there. Whether they are intentional or not, the hand of the Most High is all over this thing. That I do want to put out there.
Now, before you go any further, to land back off of that, the Ruach is moving, because I was just about to say, if everybody remember, I do believe these could have been planned, but guess what? I just said the hand of the Most High is moving here. Guess what made it worse and spread? Y'all remember last week how the wind was blowing?
Right.
A couple weeks ago. That's how it got out of hand.
Right.
They could say, look,
95 up to 95 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour winds.
And it was over a wide area. So if they set these fires just to claim a couple insurance policies, they didn't expect that wind to be like that.
Right.
And that's how it's now. It's instead of one little section, now it's all over the place. All right, go ahead. Like I just wanted to.
Nah, you fine. You're fine.
Yeah, that wind.
This right here, I haven't heard about this on the news, on the media. Not saying that they haven't reported it. This was something that came across my news feed on my phone, and when I saw it, it made me choke. I already got a problem with insurance companies as is myself, right? But State Farm, one of the biggest insurers in California, they canceled hundreds of homeowner policies last summer in the Pacific Palisades, which is the same area which is now being ravished by the devastating fires. So just last summer, right, let's go with summer before last summer. These homeowners had insurance and fire protection. They come last summer, they were canceled. They come now, the houses are charred.
That's
okay. Just let that sink in. So 2 summers ago, they were covered with fire protection. Last summer, they was canceled. Now, they don't have a house or insurance, right? So, what do you make of that? How can you make sense of that?
You can't. I find that strange. I find that very odd. And this is how you know what you're saying is journalism 101, because here's what State Farm had to say. With everything you just said, they were given a news reporter took the microphone and asked them, what do you make of all this and everything you just said? This is what they said. Our number one priority right now is the safety of our customers, agents, and employees impacted by the fires, and assisting our customers in the midst of this tragedy, a spokesperson for State Farm told Newsweek in response to a request for comment on Wednesday. Okay, like DLX said, I smell a rat. Like Blue News said, this is crazy. And as a reporter, if I asked that question, I'd be like, that's not the answer. Like, what are you going to do about these policies that were canceled out of the blue? I get it. You want the safety. But if I had a house there, my safety, what you just answered would be, where can I get the check cut to rebuild my house?
Right.
Don't try to dodge the question. What are you talking about? Our priority right now is the safety of our company. No, the safety is their policies that got canceled.
And right, we not talking, well, all houses in California, regardless to how small or how big they are, $1 million homes. I don't even know how people survive in California, to be honest.
Man, that costs a living.
Even with that being said, we're talking lucrative neighborhoods. We're talking people who are worth millions. Okay, this is what we're talking: property damage, not just houses. We're talking properties. We're talking mansions. We're talking estates. We're talking what was Craig Uncle name on Friday?
Elroy. Okay, Elroy.
You know, you know what I'm saying?
I'm the king around here.
This is what we're talking about, people. We're not talking, you know what I'm saying, small time. Now, this just came to me. This just came to me. All praises to the Most High for this, man. Probably about a year ago on Truth Be Told Flex podcast, we talked about 15-minute cities. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
Come on, man.
When you're talking about a whole city like Los Angeles being burnt down in the way that it is, insurance companies have canceled these people policies that's going to make it that much difficult for them to be able to rebuild. We're talking about a regentrification on a whole nother level here.
Right.
On a whole nother level.
Right.
We're not talking about just running black people out so white people can build. We're talking about now they're going to have land that has been pretty much charred out that people are not going to be able to rebuild on, which means that the state of California and the city of Los Angeles will have their own at will to do what they want to do with that. That sound like to me, and I'm not saying that it is, but that sound like to me, that could be the beginning of your 15-minute cities.
Again, to land back off what you just said, that could be the more solid reason that I've heard. I've watched countless videos on YouTube ever since this, and their reasons behind canceling these policies is, you'd be like, that what you just said right there, that makes sense. Because you're talking about, like you said, you're talking about the likes of Paris Hilton. This ain't no, these are properties, y'all. This ain't no $1 million mansion. These are 3 or 4 acres in South Carolina or Texas, where I live. Is going to cost you maybe 800 grand to $1 million. Where that is, you talking to access $5 to $6, $7 million.
Yep. Easy
for 2-3 acres on in a mountain in LA. So with all these properties and all these, not just houses, like Ox said, property in the city, if they 150 acres could easily be a 15-minute city. And now you force the people to say, okay, government, do your thing, because the money I got, I'm not really acting no more. I'm kind of retired. I can't rebuild like I want to. So yeah, have at it. The property's yours. Take it over. You're gonna pay me to buy back that land, that 4 acres I had. Boom, I made another $4 million off that. I'm gonna just move to Texas and live in the countryside of Texas. Y'all got it.
There you go.
There
you go.
That's a solid reason to cancel. Why would an insurance company like State Farm, as big as they are, cancel policies like that? Yeah. And that answer, what you just gave, that's solid. I could say, okay, because like I said, out of all the countless videos I've watched, I was like, okay, I mean, I could see that, but that what you just said, that would make sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, we reported it, which means that these are things that they are talking about doing. And that's the problem with reporting stuff. Then you don't hear about it no more. You forget about it, right? But until it come back around. And this is the thing too with insurance companies, man, that do stuff like this. I feel like with all the government regulations and how the government come in and take over stuff, like the Ox said just a few minutes ago, Sunday might be the last day for TikTok because they say that that TikTok is not good for the children and it breaches securities and things like that. So the government coming in and taking over. I feel like that this here should be an area where the government can step in when State Farm say, yo, we're going to cancel these policies. The government should be able to step in and be like, hell to the no. You're not.
You ain't doing that.
You're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those times where they can do that. Look, if the government can force you and I was talking about this here with Bernard the other day. If the government could force you and I that we have to have insurance, right? You're a homeowner. I know in the state of Texas, if you're a homeowner, you got to have homeowners insurance.
Yep.
If you have a car, you have to have car insurance.
Yep.
If the government can force me to have insurance, then why is it that the government cannot force insurance companies to make good on the policies that people who have been paying into when they need it, man? How is it that you're going to let them be able, because the first time we have a crisis, let's think about when we just had the crisis not long ago, right? When the money, the big crisis, insurance companies got bailed out by the government.
Yep, got billions of dollars out, billions, and now, like we said before, when y'all go back and look at the episodes, we talk about the banks in California and closing down where they don't have, where it's not the actual money sitting inside the bank anymore. It's now a credit. They credit you because they take your actual money and invest it in other things so they can have guaranteed money to operate over 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That's how they calculate it. Well, it looks like State Farm has made bad on their investments and hadn't made the actual money back. So they just don't have the money.
Because that's what they said. I'm glad you said that. Because that's what they said. They said this move of them canceling these policies, they said that it was justified by the company as an attempt to avoid financial failure. For who?
For who? Right.
That's my question. For who?
Right.
Are you, because see, go back to that statement that you read earlier. What did they say their main priority was?
The safety of our customers, agents, and employees.
So if that's your main priority, you can't cancel their policies. But then you come with that same split tongue and say that it was justified. In other words, it was all right for us to do this because it was a financial move. For who? Not for your customers, but for you.
That's why I said if I'd have been the news reporter that asked that question and they answered that, I'd have been like, nah, that's not what I asked you. That's not a sufficient answer. There's no way you could be talking about the safety of your customers when you cancel the policies and you don't have the money. If you got 100 million sitting in the company value, how you don't have the money is beyond me.
Right. Exactly, Jamil.
You supposed right. They mean this. There you go. That's as a reporter, I'd be like, well, that sounds like the safety of your sales, because at the end of the day, after you said that statement, guess what? Their policies are still canceled. You can't. That's a fact. You can't deny that. Now, if you said that and y'all are cutting checks as we speak to get, then that's one thing.
Right.
But you're not though. So State Farm, hey, you got to bring your hind end down to the floor. It's time. Court is in session. You got to answer for this. Like, that's crazy. That's wild.
Imagine people, if you will, paying Lou Ferrigno. Hopefully everybody here is old enough to remember who Lou Ferrigno was back in the heyday, man. Incredible Hulk, the original Incredible Hulk. Big old dude. Never did win Mr. Universe because Arnold used to always beat him out. But he was still a specimen of a dude, right? Imagine paying this dude for 15 years to be your bodyguard, but nothing ever happened in 14 years, 14 and 3/4 years that he ever had to break anybody's bones or hurt anybody. But then in that last quarter, somebody tried to reach out and touch you. And when they do, and you've been paying him all of this time, and when they reach out and touch you, Lou Ferrigno just decide he gonna quit right then and there. He don't want to do it no more.
Tragic.
He got 15 years of your money. And now when you need him to do what you've been paying him to do, he tell you he quit. He can't do it for you.
Man, you got this. Yeah.
Imagine driving like me, myself. I've been driving for years. I don't know how many years I've been driving and been paying insurance for all these years that I've been driving. For every car I done had, except for 2 or 3. Yo, I hadn't had insurance. I'm out there riding illegal. But for the most of the cars I done had, but I've never had an accident, Aki. I've been paying these companies all these years, and as soon as I do have an accident, you jokers drop me or increase my premium.
Somebody getting their hind end. That's crazy.
See what I'm saying?
And see,
it's robbery, man.
It's robbery. And the thing is, as a customer, you get that letter in the mail and your house is now burnt down. Like, what can you do?
Right.
Like, that's
right.
You want to talk about helpless, and again, we are talking about rich folks. They not necessarily hurting like that. But still though, your policy canceled. You get that letter, you open that letter up out of the mail, your policy canceled. Then you're like, we ain't worried about it. We good. A few months later, your house burned down. Like, you're literally looking at your house is now stubble. But the word says Esau's house will be made stubble, man. Like, that system is Babylon is on its way down, like, for real. So it's just like this is crazy. It needs to be studied. It
really does, man.
This is wild.
In closing it out, man. Like the Ahmed said, we're not saying that this is the beginning of the 15-minute cities, but it very well could be, because we're talking about millionaires here who have the power to just relocate. And which means that these areas that are now charred are going to be vacant, and people who stay in California are going to 9 times out of 10 are going to be people who don't have the means to relocate. And if they don't have the means to relocate, they're not going to have the means to rebuild on that land, which means that that land is going to be returned back to the state, which is going to give the state the ability to do what it is that it wanted to do. In closing, State Farm announced in April of 2024 that it will have canceled a total, listen to this, 72,000 policies in the state for houses and apartments, 30,000 of which were homes, as reported by ABC Channel 7. According to State Farm, about 1,600 insured homes in the Pacific Palisades lost coverage because of that decision.
Wow.
So State Farm said, yo, you people are on your own. Thank you for your services and the monies that we have received from you for over these years, but that is way too many homes for us to be covering. And therefore you're not getting refunds, but we ain't gonna be there to help you. And like a good neighbor.
Like a good neighbor. And it's crazy that listen to the definition of Palisades. Y'all go look this up. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up.
I've been wanting to do that too. What you got?
The Most High is Palisades, a fence of wooden stakes or iron railings fixed in the ground, forming an enclosure or wall of defense. The Most High said it's coming down. Your defense is now coming down. Ain't that crazy? The Palisades. That's the definition. A guard or wall. A defense mechanism.
Yes, indeed.
Wow.
That's what's happening in California. So, and I'm with D-Elect12, man. I want to try to see all of the comments. D-Elect12 says something way early. I'm with him, and I need people to pay attention to that as well and follow suit, because I know they will tug at your heart and you feel like that you just got to do something, but don't send them people not one red penny, because you have absolutely no idea where your money is going. Not even with the Red Cross. Don't send Red Cross nothing either. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, so you don't know what you are funding. You don't know what you are supporting. You don't know where that money is going. And on top of that, this is one of them. You remember when, was it John or James? One of them said, yo, I'm going to follow you, Messiah, but let me go back and tell my pops bye. He said, yo, let the dead bury the dead.
Come on, man.
So let the dead bury the dead. You know what I'm saying? And I know that may sound so insensitive, but it's not insensitive whatsoever. I feel bad for the people who have lost all. I'm not lying to you, I do. But at the same time, that's grown folk business. My daddy grown. And I'm going to let my daddy do what my daddy do. And I'm just going to let the dead bury the dead. I'm not giving out one red penny to nothing. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, they could run a commercial with the Palisades looking like them SPCA commercials with them sad looking dogs. Just see it. Just see it. $1 a day, you can feed 2 dogs. Now, hey. Hey.
Boy, they be running them commercials in the ground, don't they? Boy, them
dogs be looking so sad.
They be looking so sad. And look, I don't know how them dogs be looking down, but then when the camera hit them, they be looking up. They be looking in the camera. I be like, how did that dog know to do that? That's crazy. That sad song that you sing. Like, boy,
I told my wife, I said, as soon as the commercial was over, they don't win euthanize every last one of them dogs.
Put them in there. You're like, what? Get them back there in the room and close the door and lock it up and throw the match and the gasoline in there. You be like, man, don't do them dogs like that. Who let the dogs out?
They don't win euthanize every last one of them jokers, man.
Oh boy, that's sad.
Yes, indeed. I ain't got nothing for you, man.
Don't know why I had it down. That was sad, but you want to cry. You pick up your phone, start. Oh, I'm about to get $50. Nah, I ain't getting none of mine.
Oh, what else? This next story, though, probably going to make a lot of people mad. This is one that, for real, man, I have not heard about at all. I had to check to see if this joint was even real. It was so crazy, man. We talking pure evil. In Virginia, a now former nurse at Henrico Doctors Hospital Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, that's the NICU, in Central Virginia, she has been charged with malicious wounding and child abuse following an investigation of newborn babies who suffered from unexplainable fractures. The nurse, which is 26 years old, that's her, 26 years old, Erin Elizabeth Ann Strotman of Chesterfield County, stands accused of causing these injuries to at least one black child, but it's possible at least 7 more suffered the same injuries. We're going to leave that face up there. As Willie D say, we need y'all to look at that mud duck.
He'd be saying that. Oh, only a face mama could love. Woo. Sorry, man. Golly, boy.
Unexplainable fractures, newborn babies in the NICU at that, people. According to ABC Channel 8, 3 babies at the hospital were discovered with these unexplainable fractures in late November and December of 2024. And their cases resemble that of 4 infants at the same hospital who suffered similar injuries in 2023. This sounds like a serial killer to me.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah, sounds like a serial killer to me. So many babies with similar injuries. I don't understand how it took so long for them to bring her under investigation. This is date back according to what I'm reading here, and I comprehend all right. Probably not the best, but I comprehend all right.
Right.
They've been having these type of injuries at this hospital since 2023.
That's
in the NICU of all places, which means that if you're dealing with babies in the NICU and somebody, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're dealing with babies in the NICU, it's almost like a library. Every time you touch a baby, it has to be, it has to be marked. Who is feeding the baby at this time, or who is administering the medication for this baby at this time, or who is putting this baby to sleep at this particular time. So how is it that it took so long for this lady to come under investigation for this? Is my question.
It baffles me, man. Like, Shaka Boom, like my wife said, the babies in NICU, they're already fighting for their literal lives. Like they are fighting to stay alive. And one in that article, this is what struck me as a dad, as a father, husband. One of the dads, and he was, I don't know if they're the other 7 babies are African American. I can't remember if this dad was the dad of the so-called African American baby that was, that they did the investigation on. It says one of the dads stated he remembered her being nice as she could be and just being a nurse, meaning when she came in on the shift, she asked all the questions, she did all the stuff a nurse does. And to be able to put that front on like you got to be good at what you do. And I ain't talk about good at what you do as far as nursing. I'm talking about being diabolical. Like there has to be something in your spirit. That's like what they call a meat suit. She's just the Walking Dead. Like you gotta have a different type of spirit to do that to a child, let alone a newborn that is in NICU. You gotta be
already fighting for their life.
Already fighting. And that was the point. Like you gotta be something built different.
My baby was in NICU. I call him my baby. He's 21 now. All praises to the Most High. And all praises too. We had great nurses, man, when he was born. But I've seen NICU firsthand, and I know many of you guys have as well. And you know, just to land back on what Ayob is saying and what I'm sure that the majority of you guys are saying, and this is why I'm keeping this face up here, because we need to see what evil look like. You have got to be one touched individual to even have something like that in your mind to do something like that, right? The babies, like, that's not a person in their right mind. That's right. For real a whole evil ruach. Let's just go on and call that what it is.
What it is. Absolutely.
Just call that what that is, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
And these are majority black children. I know that they handed out one. They said one, but I'm gonna go on them and say that the majority of them, and I don't even want to say black. I'm gonna say Israel on this one here. Right? We talking Israelite babies. And this reminded me of 3 incidents, man. And if y'all don't mind, man, I want to do a little biblical reading here on this.
Go ahead, Doc.
This one here touched me, man. One that we're familiar with in Exodus chapter 1:15 through 16. We familiar with this. It says, the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives,
come on,
of which the names of one was Sapphira, the name of the other Poor. And he said, when you do the office of the midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then ye shall let him live. Okay? That's Exodus. Then we got the birth of Abram in the book of Jasher. I don't know if you guys have read the book of Jasher or not, if you're familiar with it or not, and if you're not, make yourself familiar with it. But Abram was under duress. It's so beautiful. I do got to say this before I get into this, Aki. When we are introduced to Abram in the 16:11, it's Abram in Genesis chapter 12, and it's him already with a relationship established with the Most High. See, the book of Jasher give you that front story as to how we got to Genesis chapter 12. And this is why it's important to make yourself familiar with Jasher.
Yes.
How did he get to Genesis chapter 12? Because when you read Jasher, you will see that Abram's life was under duress the whole time, from the time that he was born.
Nimrod was on him.
His life was under duress. So he had a reason to trust the Most High the way that he did by the time we get to Genesis chapter 12.
Come on, Ak, you preaching. Preach.
Right? And so in chapter 8 of Jasher, it says that if it seems good to the king, and this is when he was born, the wise men saw the stars and they understood what the stars was saying. And they took that note to the king and it said, if it seemed good to the king to give his father value for the child, we shall slay him, talking about Abram, before he shall grow up and increase in the land, and his evil increase against us, that we and our children perish through evil. That's Joshua 8, people.
Yep.
Still talking about killing the children of the Most High. Then we got Matthew chapter 2, 16 through 18, which I know that the majority of us are familiar with. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, he sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently acquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, in Ramah there was a voice heard, lamentations and weeping, great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted because they are not. Then the last one, Revelations. Want to say, is it 12? That the dragon was wroth with the woman, and he went to make war with the remnant of her seed. That is us. The reason I pointed these out, people, is because that spirit that is in this particular lady right here, that is an old spirit that has hated us from the very beginning. That spirit has been trying its best to get rid of us from the very beginning. That is why she was able to take NICU babies and break their bones. Because she has allowed whatever spirit that was in Nimrod, that was in Herod,
Pharaoh,
that was in Pharaoh.
Yep.
She has coveted with that spirit, people.
Yep.
She is in agreement with that spirit.
Yep. That's it. Spiritual warfare 101. Again, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. You don't learn this overnight. This is something that she's agreed with, and it's taught her how to do it covertly. Do it this way so you don't get caught. They'll see the babies crying, but they won't detect that you broke the ankle here or messed the toe here. You see what I'm saying? That is an inch. And I think Jamil said it earlier. There you go. Hasatan is great at that covert, sneaky, ancient. It ain't the fact that he's smart. He just been doing it for a long time. Y'all. I just took you back to Jasher. You know how ancient Jasher is? When Nimrod's wise men seen the star and was like, wait a minute, we know what that star means. Somebody was born, but it wasn't just a somebody. Somebody important was born. Nimrod was like, all right, go look for him. Herod was like, all right, go look for him. You get all the way to Revelation. The dragon was like, all right, I'm looking for you. I've been looking for you for a long time. And there you have it. You can see it in her eyes. You can look at her eyes. You can see it.
Yeah.
Man, that thing heavy, boy. When I read this story arc, it made me sick to my stomach as a dad, man.
Yeah, me as well. It made me sick. Yep, me as well, man. Yeah.
So I hope they can get to the bottom of it, man. I hope they can get
whatever it is that she gets, she deserves.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is, and this is what people don't understand about spirits, is that I don't know if you guys have ever watched the movie Seven or not, right?
Yeah.
When people got spirits like that, when they die, those spirits don't do nothing but just move on to somebody else.
They don't go away. They do not go away. The word says they look for another dry place they look for a vessel that has not been filled. It's been swept bare, and they look for it that it ain't been filled by the Ruach HaKodesh, set apart Ruach.
Yo, long but not. See up in here? Oh, that gum show is. Girl, where you come from?
Yeah.
You on your way home? I hope. Okay. But I ain't even know the sister was up in here, man.
I ain't see that either. There it is, 9:30. Shalom, family.
Yeah, shalom, but not. Yeah. All right, man. We're going to do one more story, and then we're going to turn it over to our brother for the Beyond Critical Race Theory.
All right.
And again, we're going to miss... this is one of those times we're going to miss Banat because she'll have pictures and stuff along with the story. Hey, all Io got tonight is me.
I got right. All we got is each other.
That's
all the bells and whistles and all the neat stuff. We ain't got none of that. But I do that one thing.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Got that.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, man.
All right, man. What we got?
What you got?
This one here, man. Hold on 1 second.
While he's doing that, everybody on Facebook, man, it's our first night back. We appreciate you. 17 shares. All praise to the Most High.
All praises.
Facebook family, we love y'all. I appreciate it. 17 shares. That is love. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you.
We thank y'all. We really do thank y'all. Make this thing popular, people, please. Share this thing outside of, of us and who we are, man, because people need to hear this and I'm going to tell you one of the main reasons we all need something like this. And it don't have to be truth be told.
Right.
Something similar to it. We need this because there is so much junk food out here we being fed. So when the good, wholesome stuff come, enjoy it, but don't enjoy it by yourself.
Yeah, share it, man.
Share it.
For every righteous podcast and platform, you got a million secular, raunchy, gossip-laden, just, man.
Yeah. Share it. Yes, indeed, man. So we thank y'all that's on Facebook. Yeah, man, when it comes to the issues of systemic racism and policing, don't nobody know anything different about that than us, man. Can't nobody tell us. I have literally said it red lights. Me and my wife, we have said it red lights. I can watch how white people interact with the police and how the police interact with them. And it'd be blowing my mind, man. And I'd be like, there is no damn way in the world.
Which I can get that. Like, where that be at when I get pulled over?
You know what I'm saying? There ain't no way in the world. And this is like normal to them. You know what I'm saying? And then it be these same white people to tell you that, ain't no issue.
Ain't no issues. All you got to do is comply.
But then when we do comply, we still get shot. When we do obey, we still get shot. When I pull over, I get shot. If I don't pull over, I get shot. If I get out with my hands up, I get shot. I mean, damn, what, you know what I'm saying? What do comply mean? Oh, I know, not have melanation. That's what you mean. Look like that.
There you go. That's the only way to beat it, Doc. That's the only way.
You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Man.
That is it. Whoop that white lady.
That's my man Marcus Sherrill, classmate. Kannapolis, Charlotte in the building. My man Marcus Sherrill. That's my boy right
lock
there.
her up because I tell you what,
she gonna get it.
Yeah,
they let her out.
She'll get some lumps.
Look, hey, my boy Marcus might walk her down. For where you at? That's my man Marcus. That's a great name too, Marcus.
I like that. You know what, man? I like Marcus. I like Marcus. You probably a good guy too, man, with a name like that.
Man, that's my guy, Marcus. He's good dude, good family back in my hometown, man. One of my
All praises. Welcome to the show, Marcus. Welcome to the show, man, and hope that you'll be back for more of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, when it comes to systemic racism, man, you know, and the way that they treat us in the Black community, man, we know about this. And what makes it even sadder is that it don't just stop with us as grown Black men. We have seen them act this way with children as well.
Right.
With children, you know what I'm saying? And here is a story where the police pulled over a guy for a routine speeding ticket, and they turned it into something else, pulled him out of the car, and because of what the guy's son saw, he felt at 5 years old that he had to comply himself, man. So this is the family of a 5-year-old Black child who allegedly got frisked by the police during a routine traffic stop, man. What do you think about that, yo?
Man, when again, this was another story where, what you just alluded to, that runs through your mind first, because you think about how we get treated opposed to like when you're actually driving around the city or going to work and you see one of them get pulled over, how the interaction is different. You could just tell by just sitting beside them. You could look at their expressions on their face and how they exchanging licenses and paperwork, that it's a nice, gentle interaction. So as I'm reading this, I started thinking about that. Then I'm thinking about, if I was this father in this moment, and my 12-year-old son, he was 10, and the canine is barking, like I couldn't imagine how tense. Like the previous story, my stomach started hurting. This story, I started getting a headache because it hit home that quick. And so many emotions run through you because we've been pulled over so many times, and it could have went a different way. Like even the father he said in the article, this could have went a whole different type of way. All praises, they were not hurt, but just the trauma of having a canine sniff the door. Just so happened your child is on the side of the canine, so-called reportedly, this is what they said. They said that the canine alerted, and that the canine only alert to meth, marijuana, cocaine. So you're saying my child, I'm already, as a father, I'm already outside of the car, and now you're gonna yank him out and start frisking him, bruh. Right. Again, my first initial reaction, I got a headache reading it because I couldn't imagine. Not only as a father, what my son, I couldn't imagine what his son was thinking about after all the things, like you were just alluding to, after all the things his son see on TV. Why a boy my age, a different color, don't get treated like this? Y'all wouldn't have yanked him out and had the canine sniffing on his door. You wouldn't have done that.
Right.
So that was my initial reaction to answer your question. I got a headache reading it, and it disturbed my spirit. That this is 2025, so-called Gregorian year of 2025, and this is happening. This little boy is traumatized, man. Look at
that's the thing. Traumatized at 5 years old. Look, I grew up in West Dallas, and it was the projects. We called them red bricks back in the day when I grew up. And yeah, West Dallas is a bona fide hood. Always have been, always will be. But when I grew up, this is one of the things where I'm thankful for my age, because I actually grew up in a time where police was real police, even in the projects. Right. They would come through, dude, like for real, man, on horseback. We used to see them, man, when I was a kid, man. They'll come through riding their horse. It'd be sometimes 2 of them, sometimes 4 of them, but they knew everybody's name. The kids, that is, they knew our names, and they were not a threat to us. You dig what I'm saying? And so as I got older, I started asking myself, what's the difference in the police when I was a kid and the police officers that we have today? Yeah. And this is the big difference to me. Okay, and I need you to correct me if I'm wrong, and even the people that are in the chat that are a little older. The difference in the police of yesterday and today is that these were police officers that actually lived in the community. They were a part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And they were grown men that cared about the community, as opposed to the officers that these cities are hiring today are ex-military, PTSD, wired up on Mountain Dew
and Monster energy drinks.
And all they want to do is enforce their will and make you buy down to what it is that they say. That's a difference. They don't live in these neighborhoods. Not that those police officers back then lived in the projects, but I bet you many of them lived like in Oak Cliff, which was not far from, you know what I'm saying? They were still part of the community. They still looked at us as people.
Right.
Police department had a whole Pop Warner football team in my neighborhood back in the day.
Yep.
I'm saying all of this to say that at 5 years old, your first interaction with the police is this what they're doing to your father, and I feel the need that I got to get out at 5 years old and put my hands up so that you can frisk me too. That, my dude, is trauma mutation.
Yeah, 5. Wow. He caught one.
5 years old. I saw the video. I saw the video and the police was talking to the kid. Oh, you don't have to do that, bud. How does he know that when he's seeing you do this to his daddy?
Right. And again, the car wasn't stolen. There was no type of crime reported. His tag was expired.
That's an expired tag.
Tag.
So how do we go from an expired tag and dark tinted windows to we got to get the K9?
The K9.
Why do we got to get the K9 for an expired tag and dark tinted windows? I was probably about 6, 7 years old. Never forget this. I can relate to this kid right here. Never forget this. True story. And you know when black people say true story, they be, this nigga finna lie.
Hey, when you said it, you leaned back. You said true story.
Right.
True story.
Here this nigga But I never forget this, man. My brother is, I want to say 16 years older than I am, right? I was probably about 6, maybe 7 years old. He was getting ready to go to a Earth, Wind, and Fire concert, right? Dude was dressed, man. He had this 1977 Nova. That joker was burgundy and peanut butter. Burgundy running down the quarters, peanut butter coming up the middle. That brother had all white seats in it with burgundy pipings in it. Had him an old school Alpine with 6x9s in that joker, blacked out windows. That joker was dope with 30 spoke rims on it. Never forget that car. Never forget that car. I was hungry. So he said, come on, Marcus. And I used to love riding in that car. He said, come on, Marcus. Let me take you to Burger King, get you a burger before I leave and bring you back. Then I get a chance to go with Big Bro, and I get to ride in the Nova. Don't get no better than that.
Right. Show you right.
Before we get back, he gets stopped. DPD pull him over. Did almost the exact same thing that they did to this boy right here. Boy, I'm in this car crying like a little girl watching, because I'm watching at the age that I was, I'm watching how they handling my brother, man. And in my mind, for no reason at all.
Wow.
My mama had to come get me because they hauled him off the jail. Now ask me why they pulled him off.
Wow.
Because his windows was too dark. And they made him begin to start scraping the tint off the window. Here I am, 6, maybe 7 years old, looking at this here, man.
And at the age you are now, you still remember that story.
I still remember
as if
that
it happened
story.
last week.
Like it, you understand what I'm saying?
That's crazy, bro.
I can relate to this kid, man. I can relate to this kid. Never forget that, man.
Wow.
Never forget that. So yeah.
Wow.
There it is, man. And this is something that is not going to stop, you know. So you would never hear here on Truth Be Told. We're gonna be talking about we need to go band and get arm to arm and ask for justice. Ain't no justice.
Right.
You better go read Baruch.
Right.
How do we get have you asked yourself, how do we get up under the hand of our oppressors? Because we got away from them laws.
That's right.
You better go read Baruch.
Baruch could tell you.
You want justice? You better get back to your creator. You better get back to who it is that you belong to if you want justice. Because this kingdom here belongs to them. And they gonna make sure that Negroes like you and me will know who this kingdom belongs to, man.
Man.
They gonna make sure that we know who it belongs to. So yeah, that's that kid, man. So that's that, man. Yeah.
5 years old, bro. That five. My son is 7. Kawan, little nephew, is 4. He'll be 5. Y'all willing this summer. That little boy is their age. Kindergarten, 1st grade. Crazy, bro. Crazy.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Very disturbing, bro.
Yeah, that's that, man. And yeah, so let's go ahead and go into the Beyond Critical Race Theory.
All right.
And we got what I believe 2 more stories to get into before we get up out of here.
Beyond Critical Race Theory. Man, we got a good one tonight, man. It's something I came across on the break. And we know that America's so-called Christmas, they just celebrated it. Well, doing their Christmas break, and it just so happened our Truth Be Told Flex podcast break was at the same time. Run across this story, never heard of this young man, and this made me like, wow. Again, we don't have any of the pretty pictures and the gaudy pictures tonight. We're just gonna get with this story, but our Beyond Critical Race fact tonight is Mr. Samuel Sharp, the Baptist War, aka the Christmas Rebellion. On this day, December the 25th, 1831, over 60,000 enslaved Jamaicans led by one man, a Baptist preacher, Samuel Sharp, went on to carry out one of the largest slave rebellions in West Indian history. Never heard of this. So who was the Baptist preacher, you ask yourself? I even asked myself. Samuel Sharp. Who was this man? He was a Baptist deacon and the leader of the Native Baptists in Montego Bay. He was also an avid follower of the growing abolitionist movement in London. He led a plan for a peaceful general strike to start on Christmas Day in 1831, with the enslaved Jamaicans demanding, get this, more freedom and a working wage, and refusing to work unless the demands were met by the state owners and the managers. That's all they wanted. They didn't ask for nothing more, nothing less. Just fair wages and a little bit more freedom. During the 19th century, Jamaica was essentially used as one large plantation by the British. Almost all residents were enslaved, and they outnumbered the so-called Europeans and whites. Racial tensions were at an all-time high. You ask yourself again, how did the rebellion begin? Sharp's call for a general strike had spread out through Jamaica, and news of the plan reached some of the planters. British troops were sent to St. James, and warships were anchored in Montego Bay and the Black River. By December 27th, 1831, Kensington Estate in the hills above Montego Bay was set on fire, signaling the slave rebellion had begun. A peaceful strike was now impossible, and it quickly became the largest slave rebellion in the West Indies, with as many as 60,000 of Jamaica's 300,000 enslaved people arming themselves and seizing property across the land. The Christmas Rebellion, get this, lasted until January 4th, 1832. The Jamaicans easily overwhelmed by the British forces and the Jamaican government. The aftermath, over 300 enslaved men and women were executed as a result of the subsequent trials. Samuel Sharp was captured and hanged on May 23rd, 1832 in Montego Bay on a square now called Sam Sharp Square. He was posthumously, that means after he was unalived, named a National Hero of Jamaica in 1975, and his image can be found on the $50 Jamaican banknote. There you have it. Baptist Deacon Samuel Sharp led the rebellion in Jamaica, December 25th, 1831. Like I said, him and 300 of us, they lost their lives, but hey, I ain't mad at them. They fought, and they was like, nah. And get this, just like now today, all we ask is that, hey, if we get pulled over, give me a ticket, tell me why, and let me go on.
And let me go.
The same reason.
Right.
We just want a little bit more freedom and fair wages. That's all it was asking for. And they actually had to go to violence just to get that. What you think about that?
That's crazy that you say. I'm gonna see if I can find it in my history. I just came and I can't remember this dude's name, and maybe somebody can look it up, bring it back up to us. And if somebody find it, please send it to me in Truth Be Told Flex Podcast at gmail.com. I just read about a brother, man. He was a really, really smart brother. This brother here, man, tried to enroll in a college, and these retarded white people put him in a mental asylum.
What?
That's exactly what they did. For trying to educate himself. But he was already educated. He had already had a couple of degrees already. That's why I say he was already really smart. He tried to go to like one of the Ivy Leagues, and they put that dude in a mental asylum. In a mental asylum. I'm gonna see if I can find that, and if I find it, I'm gonna shoot that to you.
Shoot it to me, bro.
And maybe you could do that there as well for a Beyond Critical Race Theory. But yeah, man, you cannot be mad at our people for rebel. Look, that's the problem. This is why I've never been. I wasn't a Martin Luther King fan even before I came into this truth.
Right.
Something about peace and change don't make sense.
Right.
Change don't come from peace, especially when you're dealing with people who don't know peace.
Right.
It don't. You know what I'm saying? So you got to speak the same language as the people that you're trying to get them to understand what it is that you're saying. And there might be some casualties, as we see. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you have got to be what's the saying? Be a man. If you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm not mad at that brother. I'm not mad at that brother whatsoever. Sound like Nat Turner to me.
Yep. And it's crazy. And that sound like Nat Turner, and it's crazy. Matthew 11:12 says, and from the days of John the Baptist in the KJV until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. And the violent take it by force. It's crazy that's written in scripture 3,000 years ago. And it's just relevant today, man.
Praises. We appreciate that, man. Say we cut music out, brother. We ain't gonna even be up in this joint 2 hours, man.
Look. Come on with it. But you know, hey, truth is, some of our attention spans, hey,
good. Yeah, man.
We can't hold on too much. We scrolling other stuff.
But we want to thank everybody. It seemed like, dog, I don't know what just happened. I just left and came back. But it seemed like everybody that is here with us have stayed though. It seemed like everybody that is here with us have stayed. We want to thank you for that. But yeah, so this next story, man, was crazy to me too, man. I just don't. Hey, when they trying to kill us to a whole nother level,
bro.
They want us dead, man.
They want us up out of here, bro.
They want us dead, man. So a group of potential, I can't say that word that great, so I'm just gonna say potential, okay? Toxic, and they call it forever chemicals.
Forever chemicals.
But that's what they call it, forever chemicals. And it's mostly coming from, check this out, y'all, prescribed drugs. And it may be contaminating the drinking water for millions of Americans as wastewater treatment plants fail to remove them from the water. Now, the question I have is, what's safe? We have reported about the foods being unsafe here on Truth Be Told. We have reported about the air being unsafe here on Truth Be Told. I'm sure if you live in any major cities here in America, you have seen them chemtrailing early in the mornings, and we see the results of that, right? And that's just the chemtrails. We're not talking about, like here in Houston, we have whole hoods that are built. I'm talking whole neighborhoods that are built next to chemical plants. And these chemical plants have stacks of fuel and stuff that's burning all day, every day over these neighborhoods, man. And
wow.
One neighborhood down here, they know for a fact that whatever's going on in these plants and with these railroads is causing the people to have cancer, and they ain't doing nothing about it. So now here we got water that have chemicals in it that they call forever chemicals. And what get me, man, is that what they find in is prescribed drugs. Now, I'm finna turn this over to you. But I just want us to picture this. Let's say that I'm on a certain medication that the doctor prescribed for me, right? This is the medication that I'm taking. This is what he takes. And then I go and give me a glass of water, and there could be a forever chemical in that water of a prescribed drug that they weren't able to get out. And that drug could have a whole adverse reaction to the drug that I'm taking. And we wonder why certain people is like feeling sick all the time or just dropping dead. Look, it could be in the drinking water.
Right. It could be in there.
It could be in the drinking water, man. Are you looking up something?
Oh, yeah, no. I just put that that word, that P word, perfluorancyl.
Right.
That's what they call PFA. Perfluorancyl or polyfluorancyl. Those are the substances that are known, like you said, from the medicines that are the chemicals that basically get in this water and last forever. So what they're saying in this article is that there are nearly 15,000 of them. It says known collectively as PFAs, or I just put that word so y'all could, so it's visible. Perfluorancyl or polyfluorancyl substances. Now, these substances come from medicines that get in the environment, and even though we have a water filter system, they can never get out. It says since the 1950s, PFAs have been used in a huge range of, guess what? Like I was just saying, consumer products, prized for their ability to resist oil, grease, heat, and water. They make clothes waterproof, carpet stain resistant, and pans non-stick. That's why if you that perfluorancyl and poly, if you look on the back, go buy a set of pots and pans, non-stick pans, and look on the back, you will see those words. And this is what they use to make them non-stick. So whenever you see a new infomercial about the newest non-stick pan and you buy it, you're going to have those chemicals that you're putting inside your body. This is what they're saying. It says, but their prolific use has come at a cost. Even at very low levels, they have been linked to a range of health conditions, including, get this, thyroid problems, infertility, and some cancers, which those three I just named that the article is naming, I hear those nowadays pretty much all the time, especially in our people. And then we sit back and wonder why so many people are diagnosed with this stuff. This stuff is in the water. It's in the environment. It says people are exposed to PFAs in many ways, but drinking water is an important one. Because get this, almost, according to a study, and I'm going to throw it back to you real quick. According to a study in 2023, almost half the tap water in the U.S. is contaminated. I'm going to say that again. According to a 2023 study, almost half of the U.S. tap water is contaminated, y'all. That's crazy. Just like what? Crazy. That's crazy. Almost half that are what they call forever chemicals, because like Ox said, there's really no true way to get rid of them. It says the EPA, the study also found that the chemicals the EPA regulates made up only about 8% of the potentially hazardous compounds found in the water samples analyzed. Well, guess what? That's just 8% of the water samples analyzed. There's no telling how much of it that they found if they're really left out of this article or just didn't report, because it would scare you. Because how was half of the U.S. water contaminated, but then only 8% of what they sampled shows the actual contamination? That don't make sense. Make it make sense. It says the majority comprise unregulated chemicals, including other FPAs and the other P word, pharmaceuticals. So, to conclusion, in my opinion, pharmaceuticals is a huge market, and they are pretty much to blame. It's a money racket. It's money. It's just money, man. They say, hey, we can thyroids, infertility, and some cancers. Oh, they're gonna keep having to go to the doctor. So the farmer, dumping. You see him getting this barrel out of the water. When they dump this stuff in the rivers, the water plants can't really filter it out. We drink it, we get sick, we go to the doctor, co-pay, buy medicine. There you go. And you could say, well, that's in a few cities across America. Well, if the half of the U.S. water system is contaminated and all 50 states, you do the math. Just say 25 states, 3 major cities or 3 mid-major cities in each state. How many millions of people that's going back and forth to the doctor? That's billions of dollars.
That's
billions.
Money.
That's money.
Money.
So no wonder it's forever chemicals.
This country has always the economy is drugs has always been the backbone of this country. That's what I'm trying to say.
Say it again.
Drugs is all the way. We going all the way back to the days of what we call cowboys and Indians, man. Yep. You go and research your history. One of the very, 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 very first war on drugs was against the yellow people, as they call them, Asians, with heroin, but they called it Latin back then, opiums.
Opiums, yeah.
You know, that was a drug that was legal at one time, but then they decided that they wanted to make it illegal so that they can reap the benefits from it, and then they locked up the Asians for using something that they was using as well over here, people. You know what I'm saying? And so it don't change. Go and do your research on Bear aspirins. It'll blow your mind.
Yes.
Go do your research on and how Bear aspirins is closely related to the 1921. Is it 1921 Spanish flu? The Spanish flu? 1900, sometime earlier than that. Go and do your research on Bear aspirin and the Spanish flu here in America, man. It will blow your mind, what it is that these people do, right?
Man.
And I've seen it firsthand because I work for a company here in Houston in an area that's called Cashmere Gardens. One of those areas I was talking about, people know that what's going on over there is causing them to have cancer and stuff. I'm dumping chemicals out of a tank. And man, when they tell you, be sure, this is what they tell you when you work with this girl. Be sure you have your hazmat gear on and your gloves on, because this stuff here will burn a hole in you if it touches you. I'm dumping this out of a tank into the ground outside the building in that neighborhood. Where is that stuff going? In the water.
In the water. In the water. In the water. And that's and again, when we report this kind of stuff, not saying our audience, but people would be like, "Oh man, that's conspiracy theory stuff." Man, we reading it out of the article.
Right.
They telling you they do research on this stuff, and then we give it to you, and people just won't believe it, and then wonder why. Again, there ain't a million states. There's only 50 states, guys.
Right.
And you say a mid-major city, and a mid-major out of every state. Come on. This is $1 billion industry.
Yep.
And Banal says, I also recently learned that someone is going through chemo and you use the restroom after they are susceptible to shedding of the chemicals they release. Right. See? Just like that.
Yep.
Just like that. Just like that. So imagine what's actually in the water. That's the point.
Yep. And it ain't like we can stop. And this is the thing with water and food. It ain't like we can stop eating.
You gotta have that.
It ain't like we can stop drinking water. You dig what I'm saying? We gotta have it. And it's like Jamil said. He said, you better have y'all with you, because ain't nothing safe.
Nothing safe, bro.
Ain't nothing safe, people.
You really got.
They said over 23 million Americans.
That's crazy.
Boy, it's so much in this article. So much in this article. This article here was depressing.
Yeah, it was, man. I had to take that article in doses.
Mm-hmm. I can't even find it right now. I just read it. It says over 23 million Americans are where's it at? I'm sorry, y'all. There it is. It says roughly 23 million Americans could be exposed to these forever chemicals from wastewater alone, the study found. And I want to say that it's more than that.
It's more. I was just about to say.
I want to say that it's more than that.
Yeah.
That's the number that they give you. The Ox said earlier that
8% of the potentially hazardous compounds found in waters. Nah, it's more than that.
Exactly.
It's more than that.
And if they gave you the real number, it'd probably scare you.
It'll scare you to death. It will scare you.
If they gave you the real number, it'd probably scare you. So yeah, man, that's not one of them that I gave to scare nobody for real. That was one of them that was like, yo, this is for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, something we need to know about. That's definitely that you don't hear about every day. That's one of them articles you see it, you be like, wait a minute. Let's put this out there just so we're aware. Because again, ABC News, NBC, they're not talking about this. They're talking about Elon Musk and TikTok ban. That's all they talk about. You're not hearing about what's in the water and the foods and carrying on. So yeah,
that's like kind of stuff you don't even think about. That's one of them things you trust. You trust the system
because it's water. You don't think about
it's water.
Like, water.
Hey, I used to drive one of the porta pot trucks, right? Another one of my jobs. Boy, I done had a million. A dude asked me the other day, man, how many jobs have you had? Say, look here, boy.
Look here, boy.
Look here, boy.
Look here, boy. Don't be asking a lot of questions now, boy.
Look at
take it down today, boy.
Just know that I can do that now. Okay?
Right. Don't worry about that, boy. Don't worry about that.
And how many jobs have you had? I ain't never had to go hungry.
Right.
You better believe that.
Exactly. I always had a paycheck coming through.
And I never will have to go hungry.
Yeah. I always have money coming through. Don't worry about it.
But I used to drive one of the porta pot trucks back in the day, man, and that's where we dumped that stuff at the water treatment plant, one of the water treatment plants in Dallas, man. And all my life, I used to pass that water treatment plant, and I never knew. My mama used to tell me that's the water treatment plant, and I'd be like, oh, okay, well, that's the water treatment plant over there. But you just seeing it out the freeway, so you really don't really see what's going on. Boy, when I went up in that thing, I said, oh, my God. This was way back there. We drinking this? It's like...
It blow your mind, man. When you up close and you look closer.
I was like, look, I done did good for the rest of my life. Not knowing this.
Right.
And that's how this article here it is. You know what I'm saying?
Like, why did I just had to come across this and read it.
But I went up over there, man. I was like, man, yeah. So yeah, that's that, man. For our last story, we got a video. Want to share? Oh, okay, here it is. I told y'all, but not if you still listening, girl. We miss you. Why, look here.
We're all over the place on these controls.
This stuff here look like Japanese to me, man. Sometimes. But 1921 Tulsa massacre. We've heard about it, and that's one of the ones that this country keep before us. You know, they don't tell us about, you know, that we was fluent in Rosewood. They don't tell us that we was fluent in Chicago. They don't tell us that we was fluent in Ohio. They don't tell us that we was fluent in places in California. They don't tell us about all these other areas that we was fluent at. For some reason, they always and the same thing happened in Oklahoma happened in all of these other ones as well. Let me put that out there as well, okay? Go and do your history, Jack.
Yeah.
That's why they don't be wanting us to talk about their history, because, man, I'm just to bring up one of their dark histories while we on this thing. I just found out about 2-3 weeks ago on TikTok. This is why they finna get rid of TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok be on it, don't it?
That's why they finna get rid of TikTok.
They gotta get that
out of here. I just found out about 2-3 weeks ago on TikTok, this young lady was giving this history of white people and some of the stuff that they did. Boy, I just found out that they used to dig a hole big enough for a baby to fit in. Yeah. They'll put the baby in the hole, and the baby head would be out the hole, and they would let their kids kick the baby head until the head come off.
That's where the name Brooklyn Dodger come from.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, that's where the name Dodger come from.
I said, boy, you got to be kidding me, man.
Yep. What evolved out of that, you know, bocce ball, where you play on the beach, where you take the white ball and you flick it out, and you take the other balls to see if you can hit the white ball, and that came from them also digging a hole, putting us in the hole, and throwing rocks, boulders at our heads to knock our heads off. But that's where the nickname Brooklyn and LA Dodgers came from. Yep. Ain't that crazy? That's crazy, y'all. That's something that'll mess you. When I learned that messed me up for a couple of days. I thinking about that and thinking about the horror of our people, like our ancestors that actually, you know, was hungry, and he was been picking cotton all morning, and went to go get an orange or apple off a tree, and you got put in a hole and got your head knocked off from a boat.
Got your head knocked off.
Just call it. That's what they deem lazy. You one of the lazy ones, because even though I've been picking cotton all day like everybody else, but just because I had the least amount, now I'm lazy.
Right.
I get punished.
That's that same spirit too, still in the workplace.
That's right. That
same spirit is still. And what's crazy is that they have convinced our people to feel the same way that they feel about us, man. Yeah.
Say it again.
Yeah. They have convinced our people. Yeah.
We'll perpetrate that on each other, and we were taught that.
Yeah.
That don't mean I've been, like you said, I've been out in the fields like everybody else. Just because I got the least amount. Come on. What?
Yeah.
that don't
same spirit, man.
But yeah, that's
so
crazy.
1921, the Justice Department found that the 1921 Tulsa race massacres was coordinated and a systematic attack. When I shared this with Banat, she was like, duh.
Right. Like this is something new we didn't know. Like the gall to say, oh, well, we went back and looked at it and we did deem that the 1921 race massacre, it wasn't started by you guys. It was actually a systemic coordinated attack by us. Okay.
Hey, good white people, boy, y'all funny. Y'all is funny as hell.
Right. Just take this pen and cut the check. Just sign it. That's it. That's it. And we'll be out y'all here. We'll be out. You ain't got to worry about it. You say go back that, we'll be gone. Just cut the check. And we out.
Hey, if y'all think y'all making me mad, y'all be talking about, if you hate it here so much, why don't you leave? What you think I want to do? What one he say? Hey.
Up there and kicked him off just for that. Chill, come back. Where you go? Shalom, Hondo. They done kicked Sheer off because he done said cut the check. Well, I actually, there you go. Okay.
Hey, look.
Boy, listen. But now where you at? These controls is out. We got a hand.
But what do one say?
Race out.
What you were trying to do?
That's what I was trying to do. And I done left the whole building.
Well, I say, she'll come back. But we were like, see, come back. Where you going?
Yes, indeed, man. Hey, we want to buy 2 minutes of y'all time, though, man. I guess we still got 2 hours, though. Okay, but it's all still. But yeah, we want to borrow 2 minutes of y'all time. We want y'all to check this video out and listen to the Department of Justice talk about the 1921.
The department has issued a new report on the Tulsa Race Massacre. The 123-page report documents the findings made during a review and evaluation of the massacre conducted under the Emmett Till Unsolved Civil Rights Crimes Act. The Tulsa Race Massacre stands out as a civil rights crime, unique in its magnitude, barbarity, racist hostility, and its utter annihilation of a thriving Black community. In 1921, white Tulsans murdered hundreds of residents of Greenwood, burned their homes and churches, looted their belongings, and locked the survivors in internment camps. Until this day, the Justice Department has not spoken publicly about the race massacre or officially accounted for the horrific events that transpired in Tulsa. This report breaks that silence through a rigorous examination and a full accounting of one of the darkest episodes of our nation's past. The report lays bare new information and shows that the massacre was the result not of uncontrolled mob violence, but of a coordinated military-style attack on Greenwood. Now, more than 100 years later, there is no living perpetrator for the Justice Department to prosecute. But the historical reckoning for the massacre continues. This report reflects our commitment to the pursuit of justice and truth, even in the face of insurmountable obstacles. We issue this report in recognition of the courageous survivors who continue to share their testimonies, in acknowledgement of those who tragically lost their lives, and with appreciation for other affected individuals and advocates who collectively push us to never forget this tragic chapter of American history.
It's crazy how it took 123 pages, a whole civil rights crime act named after Emmett Till. The Gap Band been trying to tell y'all the whole time. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. That's what the Gap Band name is named after, the streets on Tulsa, Black Wall Street, Greenwood, Archer, and Pine. They've been trying to tell y'all. So why did it take y'all 100-something years later, 123-page report to say, oh, this wasn't a provoked attack. This was a military style. The first time on U.S. soil that dynamite was dropped from the air on American soil from a helicopter.
You know what I would have enjoyed more than hearing her talk, and I'm gonna be honest with you too, and tell me if you agree or disagree. If I was her, I've been like, I'm not supposed to read this report.
Right. Like
somebody, one of y'all white mofos need to get up here and read this, because see, really what they're telling us now in 2024 is that everything that our people said happened to them was true. Say that. Don't say that you went and did an investigation to come back to find out that it was coordinated. They told you then that it was coordinated. They told you then that they was dropping dynamite out of the planes. They told you then that they was holding their wives hostage and we couldn't go get them.
Come on, man.
So what you said was that, no, y'all lying, and they said that it spontaneously grew out of control. This was something that was not planned. It just happened like this here over a black man and a white woman. No, you people did this out of malice in your heart, because look, you go back and go do the research. How long did they say the dollar stayed in that community, y'all?
Oh man, it was weeks.
It stayed there.
Because it could grocery stores, gas stations, banks, movies, hospitals, urgent cares. It stayed in the community for weeks.
It stayed there so long that no nation, not even the Jews, have been able to duplicate how long our dollar stayed in Black Wall Street.
And it was starting to spread. Wilmington, North Carolina, Raleigh, Durham. It was starting to spread in Harlem. Look at Harlem in Chicago back in the day. It was starting to spread. So by this time in 2025, man, they know what they had to do. They were like, boy, you have 1 million cotton clubs. Every black generational wealth. Our sons and daughters would not have to work. Our sons and daughters would be born into acres of land. It
already looked like Yahuwahville.
Come on. See it will already be and looking like Yahuwahville.
You understand?
That's basic. That's it. So again, like we just said, like I just said, we knew back then it just didn't start for one or two a mishap and then group. It started, y'all planned it. Actually had a map of the city, set people up around the city, said we're going to attack here and attack here. Then once we get this side, we're going to send the helicopters to plane with the dynamite and just move like military. That's what they did.
It's what they did.
It didn't take y'all 100 years to do a 123-page report. The Emmett Till unsolved crime silver. That's what they do. They'll name something. Oh yeah, see, we tried, we did something.
We so retarded,
and fall for it.
The thing that got me is when she said over 100 years later, there's no one to prosecute for the crimes that was committed. That was strategic.
Right.
This is why they're talking about it now. Go ahead.
They just denied the survivors. That's 102 that was just born or 1 year old. When that happened, they just denied them.
Just denied them. Denied them.
123 pages. Yeah, it wouldn't have been me to read that report. I'd be like, no, I'm not doing it. One of y'all do it.
Yeah, ain't nowhere in the world I'd have read that report, man. None whatsoever. But yeah, that's the show tonight.
It was a good one. Good one to be back.
It was good to be back. We shall be back next week, people.
Yeah.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
You know it, buddy.
Yeah, this has been great. And like we say, please share this here. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe, share, and like it as well. Ring the bell. Be notified when we drop new content.
18 shares on Facebook.
You got anything to share, bro?
18 shares on Facebook, 150 views. We had everybody in the building. A great time to be Israelite, man. Just stay good and stay prayed up out there, man. A lot of spiritual warfare out going on. You got fires on one end. You had snow on the other side of the state.
Man, they finna freeze us out this next week.
Y'all got another, you got another freeze coming through for like Texas, Alabama, Missouri, Kansas City.
That Siberian winds is wrapping around the globe on the other side, over on top of.
I got a Siberian wind for him, all right.
Right. Indeed. Say bad, but we love y'all. We truly do appreciate y'all as well. This has been real. I enjoyed this. We will be back next week with more topics to talk about. And hopefully, but not to be here. If not, we're going to keep pushing buttons until we figure this thing out.
Oh my God.
Hey, we just gonna keep pushing buttons, man. Right. But until then.